Hello, all you mini mock participants. This is the guide on how to do a closing statement, which will be one of the most crucial part and also the final part of your mock trial preparation. Now, a closing statement is very important because it's going to be the final thing that anyone will hear from your side. It can really leave either a good impression or a bad impression depending on how well you do, and it puts together your whole theory of the case together with the evidence that you've actually presented in the trial. You want to reiterate your position at the top of your closing statement. So you want to focus on what you've been trying to show, your theory of the case, and what theory should a judge focus on? Should a judge focus on where the accused was at the time of the event? Should they focus on the murder weapon? What are the most important things the judge needs to focus on throughout your closing and also when evaluating what happened at the trial? You want to take note of the legal standard in this case. What does each side need to prove? For example, for murder, you would want to note that the Crown actually has to prove that the accused both killed the person in question and had the intent to do so. You want to take note of the burden of proof. The Crown has the burden of proof in a criminal trial to prove beyond a reasonable doubt the accused is actually guilty. This is one of the highest burdens in the legal profession, and you should really take note of it. If you're the defense, you want to keep hammering home on this burden and try to point out how you've created reasonable doubt. If you're the Crown, you want to point out the reasons why you have fulfilled your burden and why you have proven your case beyond a reasonable doubt. The bulk of your closing is going to be focused on what actually happened in the trial. You want to highlight the most important testimony that your witnesses gave, any important evidence that was presented, DNA, a murder weapon, etc. And you want to make it very clear how all of this evidence helps your case. For example, if you highlight a witness's testimony about where the accused was on the night of, you want to highlight whether this incriminates the accused or whether it helps your side because it says the accused couldn't have been where the Crown claims he was. You want to make it clear why we should trust your witnesses and your evidence. Why are they credible? Why are they unbiased? And it's also a good idea to poke out some problems with the other side. Did their witnesses make problems? Are they unreliable or biased? Does their case theory or timelines not match up? This is all important stuff to bring up and bring to a judge's attention. Improvisation is very important when you're talking about a closing statement. If you're just going to go up there and read from what you wrote before the trial without taking note of what actually happened, it's not going to be as effective as it could have been. You want to leave space when you're writing your closing to talk about important events in the trial. Did one of their witnesses mess up in their affidavits? Were they caught in a lie? Did their lawyers ask objectionable questions? These are all things that you want to note because they strengthen your case that much more. You want to make sure that you're taking notes as the trial is happening so that you can be constantly adding to your closing and make sure that you note all the important stuff that's going on in the trial. Because the closing is the final thing that you're going to say, you want to end on a strong note. Make sure to finish by reiterating what you want in the trial. Do you want the judge to find the accused guilty or not guilty? And why should they find that? For example, you might say that due to your strong evidence and the other side's lack of any strong evidence, the judge should find the accused guilty. Or due to your side's reliable witnesses and the other side's unreliable witnesses, they should find the same way. So really, you want to hammer home on the most important part, what a judge should focus on, and what the judge should find in the case. And that's really how you do a closing statement.